he wanted to write a story about that, and he started filming it, and he went to Bravo, and they said, yeah, go get 4 or 5 other families.
Do you consider yourself the real OG of the OC? Because you kind of like started this whole thing, right?
Well, Scott Dunlop, when I first moved to Coda, when there was 100 homes, he was always at our house, he and Gail, his wife, and he was the one who wrote the Behind the Gates, it was supposed to be called, and I laughed because we don't have a gate, we have a noodle, a yellow noodle that goes up to let you in. So, but he always said he wanted to write a Curb Your Enthusiasm type show about our family, because every time he would come over, I would have writer Rich Thorne, I'd have an actor, I'd have directors, I'd have people from New York who wanted to escape and come write a book, and we had friends from all over visiting, and you could go anywhere and say, oh, you live in Coda? Oh, do you know Jeana? Because we just had so many friends, from Matt playing baseball with all those teams and all my kids on sports teams. We'd meet people everywhere, and I've never met a stranger, so there was always somebody coming to California and they'd come stay. So he wanted to write a story about that, and he started filming it, and he went to Bravo, and they said, yeah, go get 4 or 5 other families. So then he went, and Vicki and Lori worked for Vicki, and I don't remember how they found Tamra, but they just started collecting everybody, and Joe dated Scott's neighbor, Slade. So they just kind of worked their way through and built this show, and look what it is now. It's many shows, huh?
Did you ever think that it would get to this point, like when you first started filming, and be like, this is going to become like a mega franchise, and I'm the start of it?
Well, I knew it would be successful because there was no new content back then. There was a writer's strike. So for, I think, 3 years, there was no new TV shows. So I did the first music videos. I think I did the first reality show that wasn't Ozzy Osbourne. We were the first of its type to do this. So yeah, I thought it'd be successful.
Definitely. You know, I thought it was interesting when, you know, when you were on a podcast a couple of weeks ago about talking about when you left the show, and how, you know, Vicki and Tamra were supposed to do some negotiations, but like it didn't work out correctly. I mean, were you mad at them after that whole thing happened? And
you know, I was mad, disappointed, and hurt, because I was at a funeral for a 16-year-old and trying to be supportive of my neighbor whose daughter had taken her life. It was the first time I knew someone whose child actually took their own life, and it was pretty devastating. And we wanted to be supportive for the family, the whole neighborhood did. So, I don't know. I think it just meant to me that it's time to move on and focus on important things to my family and my, you know. So I kind of just brought the horses a little closer and focused on my family more.
Did you not talk to Vicki and Tamra for a while after that?
You know, if we ran into each other somewhere, we'd talk, but they were busy with their lives, raising their children, doing the things they were doing. They were just all busy. It's not like, and when they wanted to go out, they wanted to go out with the girls from the current cast, and because it would get noted in social pages or something, and none of that really, I didn't care about that. So.
Did you feel like it was time for you to leave? Were you ready to leave at that point, or no?
I think I was ready to just get on with my life and focus on work. It was starting to affect my work, because they would say mean things like, oh, Jeana couldn't come to the sex toys party because she's drunk from last night. Well, Jeana didn't drink, so that was a mean thing to say. And I have a lot of clients that are Mormon that don't drink, so I don't need that perception out there that I drink. It's like, that's ridiculous. Right. Considering I raised 3 kids as a single mom, I never drank. You had to have wits about you. Somebody was always falling and splitting their head open or something. They were wild.
I mean, what kind of changes would you like to see to the Housewives franchise as a whole? I know you said in the beginning, you were really pushing for a gay housewife in the beginning. I mean,
loved it.
Yeah.
Remember my Frankie Joseph, the interior designer? He was more of a housewife than all of us. He cooked, he cleaned, he spent more time in his hair, his makeup, and he would come over and say, let me do your makeup. Oh my God, you can't do this. I gotta fix you, girl. And he was so funny. It was fabulous having him. He decorated all of our houses and made everybody look good. And he'd go shopping for clothes with me, pick me out cute outfits, because I have horrible taste. So it was, I really think they should have. It would have been groundbreaking, and some kind of wonderful. I mean, he brought so much joy and fun to the filming set when we would take him to Lake Havasu. We'd be driving down the road. He goes, oh no, we're not stopping in this shitty city that has bathtubs with flowers in the front. Yeah, keep on going to the next city. I mean, I would just cry. 5-hour drive is not fun, but a 5-hour drive with Frankie, Colton and I had tears streaming down our face for most of the trip.